Well, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you are. This is Joseph Land, and welcome to the show today. Gosh, can you believe it's already October 17th? It's amazing, isn't it? Seems like we just got through September and we're already halfway through October. So I guess the older you get, someone told me the older you get, the faster time goes, and I can attest to that. So anyway, I didn't know whether to get on this show today or not myself. I've heard so many rave reviews from Dawn and about Dawn and my wife last week. I decided I might just get under a rock and hide. So they knocked it out of the park. But anyway, it's so great to be on the call again today, and I hope you guys will put up with me. We got Dawn and my wife on here too, in case I mess up. But anyway, no, I'm teasing. I just wanted to thank them for the great job last week, and we've had so many rave reviews and so many great reviews from people who listen to the recording. Isn't that cool? So I just want to thank you all and welcome to the call today. Got more and more people coming in, and so I'm very excited about that. And we're growing in our numbers, and we're building a team, a community. I think one of the most important things for me, and Jennifer and I talk about you guys all the time. So if your ears are ever burning, it's either we're praying for you or talking about you, and it's all good. But we're just talking Saturday about what a great community we have with all of you. Isn't that cool? And how important it is in our society that we live in today, our global society, to have a community of people that you can believe in and count on and think about and pray for, and know they're praying for you and so forth. So I just wanted to share that with you before we get started today, and tell you welcome, and what a great time. We're in North Carolina this week, North Carolina instead of South Carolina, and it's going to be 33 degrees in the morning. So I want to tell all you people in Indiana and Long Island that you don't have us beat by much. 33 degrees. So we're excited about that. If it snows, Miles, I'll send you a photo, but I don't think it's going to snow yet. So out there in Hawaii. So anyway, welcome, Dave. Welcome, Tom Armour. I saw you just come on. Vilma, welcome. Karen, welcome. a lot of people coming into the call now, and so I'm gonna get started. So, Dawn, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
How's everything going with your new business?
Everything's pretty status quo. Status quo. I haven't really pushed on that. You mean my Tai Chi Gong teaching or the shoe?
Yeah, the Tai Chi Gong. We saw some great photographs of you.
Yeah, it went really well. I have a Friday gig every Friday there, and I have a Sunday gig every Sunday at another place. So I'm starting to get to know my students, and they're just wonderful. They're just sweet and open, and I love it.
That was a great photo because they looked so excited to be with you, and you were just shining, and yeah, you were radiant. That was a great photo. Jennifer and I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. The class went really well, and they all showed up the next week. So.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Tracy, how are you doing in Canada today?
Really well. Yeah, really well. Thank you. I haven't quite done my Tai Chi Gong training yet. I need to send in my video, but it will happen. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet. Well, it's because I don't know how to do some of the techie stuff. So, but I'll get it.
You will.
But had a really good week. Really enjoyed our time together last week, and I thank you for that. So yeah, thank you.
That's great. Doug Sherman, how are you today?
Very good. I'm still in Los Angeles. Won't be home till next week.
You in Los Angeles?
Yeah, we're still in Los Angeles.
Are you out there for a wedding, right?
Yeah, my daughter got married last weekend. So
how was it?
It was very good, very nice, very short, very sweet, but very nice.
Good. You need to send us a couple of pictures. Jennifer and I like to see the pictures.
Oh, the pictures?
Yeah,
send
us a couple of pictures of you standing with the bride.
Oh God, no, I can't do that.
And let me
got too
let
big
me
a
warn
gut.
you. Let me warn you in advance. I'm going to show everybody on the call next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm teasing.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, just glad to see you. And I know you've been out there in California. And by the way, my Dodgers lost 3 straight. They're not going to any further in the playoffs.
Wow.
So just wanted to share that with you, get that off my chest, everyone. So the Padres, looks like the Padres and who else? The Phillies, yeah. Padres and the Phillies. Andrea Rojas, great to have you on today.
Thank you, Joe. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Happy Monday.
You too. You look
Yeah.
beautiful today. I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you. Where in
Jennifer-
North Carolina are you?
We're in a town called Winston-Salem.
Okay,
Winston-Salem.
yeah. My hubby's from Wilmington.
You're in Wilmington?
My hubby, he's from Wilmington.
Wilmington, North Carolina. Okay, that's
Yeah.
over the coast. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, why don't you say a few words to us today?
Sure. I'm originally from New York City and been in Florida. I live in Jupiter for the last 6 years, and I work for Robert Half Global. They're a staffing company, and but I'm launching also a business on the side. I'm in the early stages of a business plan, and it's a women's lingerie company, but
Wow,
empowerment.
that's cool.
Yeah, so women of all sizes, shapes, colors, and just empowerment, beauty, and women who've been through trauma and stuff like that. So
I love that. I love that.
yeah,
Well,
Thank you.
if you need to talk offline to me about that and need my help, I'm here to help you.
Thanks so
Let
much.
me tell you, this is really inspiring. Everyone listening, everyone hear that? So I want you to read the story of the lady who started Spanx. Is it Spanx?
Yes, Sarah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sarah. Fabulous story. And you're that next person in that industry.
Oh, thank you. I'm getting goosebumps.
That's something. I just had that. I had that feeling when you told me that you need to know about her because
Right.
you can be that next person. I'm so impressed with you anyway. And I didn't know
Thank
you
you.
were doing this on the side. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great. So your side business is going to end up being your business.
hopefully, and I'll be a multimillionaire, just
Yeah,
like
you're
you, Joe.
going to be a billionaire. Yeah. You know,
Okay.
Sarah, who started Spanx, is a billionaire.
She is.
Yeah, she's
She
the
is.
real deal. And
Mhm.
you should follow her on LinkedIn, some of her posts and stuff.
I do. She's
Very,
awesome.
yeah, very, very, very exciting. Jennifer, isn't that exciting? Are you there? I think you're muted.
How's that?
Yeah, we got you now. And we have you now muted again.
Very, very exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Andrea, what caused you to go in this direction? What was that little vision or dream in your heart that caused you to want to build this business? I want everybody to listen to this now. This is what happens.
Who are you asking, me?
Yeah.
Well, I've always wanted to be my own boss for a while, right? Because, I worked at corporate and, it's fine. I learned a lot, but you ultimately want to make your own money and have your own vision and mission. But this particular, let me just move a minute.
Are you in your office today?
Yes.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
It's okay. What I thought about with this is, I went through abuse, trauma. I left a abusive marriage back in New York, where I'm from. And, throughout all of that, you have thinking in your mind back then that you're not beautiful, you're not you're damaged, you're broken, blah, blah. But that's all a myth. That's a lie. And that's like the fear or the devil, going into you. And really I'm always interested in fashion design, and I have a background in art. And I've always wanted something where women could feel beautiful. And I thought, you know what? I'm kind of tired of the Victoria's Secret, and, there's not much out there really. It's always the same, thing for women. And I feel like women, they don't put themselves, they put themselves down too much. And I feel like would be a platform for me to envelop the nonprofit with a woman's vision of being beautiful and putting on a piece of lingerie on or whatever it is. And I feel like this is the only way that they can empower that. So whatever pain they're having, pain always turns into beauty. So I feel like this is perfect.
Wonderful. What a great story.
Yeah.
I'm so proud
I
of you.
really, resonate with this story. And I think that in times like this, things are starting to change. And I went shopping yesterday, just briefly, a quick story with my daughter before she went back from fall break. And we went to Athleta. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's kind of similar to the Lululemon. And I was can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
So Athleta, you would not believe the mannequins, normally,
Yes.
in these stores, you see these mannequins that are size 0, modeling things that are in the store. Well, when we went to Athleta, they had a full figure mannequin next to, this skinny, unrealistic figure mannequin. And it just really opened up my heart. And I thought the world is getting the message that, it's not all about the, the skinny prototype, Victoria's Secret looking. And it was a full figure model. And Lucy and I were just so excited because you have to embrace all shapes and sizes. And I think that's what the world is trying to do today. And I think your business would be wonderful. And for women, especially, to start their day wearing something that is closest to their skin, that, that they can feel and embrace each day, and just comforts them. And it's very uplifting. So good luck to you. I'm excited to see your company grow.
Amen. Andrea, we're
Thank you.
very, very,
Appreciate that.
very, very proud of you and very excited for you. What a great idea and business. And
And thank you. And it's called Aphrodite Inc., like the goddess.
Aphrodite Inc. All right. Well, we're going to be looking for big things from that. I'm very excited for you, and thank you for sharing that with us today. And thank you for being on. And I know you're probably in your workplace and you probably need to mute. So if you need to do that, that's fine. All right, good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Who else wants to say a few words today? How about you, David Bass?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, you see my background. We have a great business. We're starting, a lot of work, a lot of time and effort, but a lot of good progress, and got a new CPA, not a new CPA, but one really kind of taking over and doing some things for us. We're excited about that business being something that'll change lives and do a lot of good things. At the same time, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that this new ERC employee retention credit, which is $1 trillion sitting up in the U.S. Treasury, 2 million businesses in America at least, and 90% have not heard about it. And 90% of the CPAs and accounting firms are not doing anything with it. So we have we think the best company, and our team just in the last couple of weeks since we spoke, Joe, we've helped employers get millions of dollars back. So we can take referrals, and you don't have to become an agent and certified and have it as a extra thing you do. You can make referrals and we can take care of you. So just like we've done for you, Joe. So thank you, Joe. Back to you.
Yeah, David. David is a great guy and great man of integrity. And I've gone to be very fond of David and what a great businessman he is. And so if any of you guys want to ever contact, see the way I like to do things is This is wide open for you guys to network and communicate with each other. I don't push anything myself. I got my hands full on a normal basis, but anyway, I want you guys to always be able to share with each other. Wasn't that terrific that Andrea came on today and shared that? So, you know, it's always something new happening. I always say to everyone when they ask me, what is the best, what is a great investment to have in these times? And I always answer, it's having a business of your own, no matter how small it is. You know, if you have a business of your own, now watch what I'm saying. There was Andrea, and she's now on mute and but she's listening, but she's sitting in an office, a corporate office, right? And she's on this call and she's creating a business of her own. And so the most powerful thing you can do right now is create another stream of income in this society, create another stream of income besides what you already have. In other words, if you have a job and it's paying you, you know, $1,000 a month or whatever it is, and you can create a residual income in another business that you're doing on the side that produces a couple $100 a month, well, or $250 a month, you've increased your power of your family income by 25%. And so it's really cool when you start looking at things in different perspectives that you should have incomes from multiple streams. And when you do that, you have safety, because if you work a job and they happen to fire you, then all your eggs weren't in one basket. You have other streams of income coming in. And I've seen people get divorces and not have a way to support themselves because the one person in a divorce made all the money. And so they're put in a tough position. And so one of the things that I teach our children, mine and Jennifer's children, especially our daughters, is to be independent, you know, have a source of income for yourself. And so we have 3 grown daughters who are in that position. They don't need anybody to support them. And we have 2 young daughters who are learning that same principle who will be in that position. And I don't say that out of any disrespect at all. I just say that is, you know, man, if you're in a family and you had 2 incomes, that would be great, wouldn't it? And if anything happened, you would have your income. That would be great too, right? So I just think I want to teach people to think differently. And you know, growing up, my daughters, you know, grew up in a time where, you know, there was supposed to be a glass ceiling, and you know, women were supposed to do certain things, and I don't buy into that at all. I taught my daughters to breathe fire, and you know, there was no ceiling. And so I just think we come at things from a different perspective. And one of the things that I'm seeing in business right now, this is going to really get you ladies fired up, is women are taking a more prominent role in a lot of businesses than men, and they're having greater success than men. And for whatever reason, and that gets me excited too. And so I'm just really fired up about what I'm seeing today. With all the stuff going on in our world, I'm watching people have great success, and that really, men and women, that really fires me up. So, Miles, how are you doing today? And talk to us a little bit about what you're doing with your business and how things are going with you.
It's going real good, Joseph. The 2 businesses I'm working, especially right now, I do have multiple income streams, and one is in affordable stem cell activation. And I'm really seeing people being helped with that. A lot of people, when you get over 60, you're not producing the stem cells to do repair and balance out the body, bring it back into homeostasis, which is well-being. So it's really been rewarding and helping people with that, and also helping people a lot with a digital bank where you're getting 3% interest per day on contracts that you put in for with your capital, and seeing that work and seeing this whole a banking system that's getting away from the central bank system is very interesting when you really take a look at what that means, if you understand what that means. I know you do, and probably everybody on this call. And it's been really paying off well for everyone, and and anyone that's involved with this bank, and they ever wanted to learn more and take a look at it, I'd be sure glad to let them know
Okay,
about either of those. The LifeWave, which is the affordable stem cell activation, or the Often Bank is a digital banking system that really pays great dividends.
awesome, awesome. That's great. Well, thank you for that input. Tom Henderson, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Joe, doing great. Enjoying the weather here in Florida right now. So like I said before, we're getting ready to do a road trip to Indiana, leaving on Friday for 2 weeks, and just enjoying that.
Now, I promote you as one of the wisest people I know. Why in the world would you leave 80 degrees in Florida to go to 30 degrees in? I'm teasing.
Oh, and my wife is in a Bible study group on Zoom every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. And she's really got connected with some of the women on there. And so about every month and a half, we all meet someplace. We were in Charleston once, and we were up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and now we're headed to Indiana because one of the gentlemen is a Colts fan. So we're going to spend 3 days in Indianapolis, and the rest of it just on the road trip, just enjoying the country. I'm hoping to see a little change in the leaves in the process.
Oh, that's great, Tom. Thank you, and enjoy your trip and safe travels. Bobby Bentz, can you unmute? How are you doing today?
I'm very blessed, sir.
Good. Bobby has a fund that he's creating or created and working on, and he's an investment specialist. Bobby, you want to say a few words today? How's the stock market today? Looks like it's about even.
It doesn't bother me. I don't care if it's up or down because I short it when it's going down and I ride it up when it's going up. So that's one thing the hedge funds can do is, unlike a mutual fund that just has to ride it, they're not allowed to short and take advantage of the different things that I can with leverage and stuff like that. So I'm loving it. I have, Justin, I'll call you right back.
Okay, I want
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, that was anyway, I'm loving it. I have got some more investors coming in. I'm always looking for more. A lot of people are afraid right now because of what the media tries to put on people's heads and put them in fear and stuff like that. And actually, right now is probably more of the time to invest than ever. So because everything is low right now. So I trade short term. So most of my trades are anywhere from 1 day to about 3 months max. I'll take profit out around 3 months. If it's doing good, I'll still take some out. And right now, mathematically, the fund is on track for about around the 60% return for our first year.
Wow, 60.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bobby, I know I'm meeting with you the next week. Jennifer and I are going to be in Charleston all next week. So we need to pick a date for that. But number two, this is a teaching moment for me because not everybody understands what you and I know. Okay. So I want to make sure you understand what he said. So a lot of times, like I've put money in a retirement fund or Jennifer's put money in a 401k and it's traded in a mutual fund. What Bobby just said, they ride the stock up, and of course you ride it down with them when in bad times. And so you really have no input into when you're in and out of the deal. But a hedge fund, that was a mutual fund I was describing. Hedge fund, which is what Bobby has, you can go in and out of the market. You can short it. You can long. You can bet long. You know, you can do a lot of cool things. You can write it up and write it down. And so that's why his return is 60%. That's incredible. Congratulations, Bobby.
Thank you.
And you've seen Bobby on this call a lot. He's always quiet. He's always working in the background. He's always listening. Such a blessing to have him on this call, because I really respect him, and he's creating his own business just like everybody else on this call. And he's doing a phenomenal job. And so Jennifer and I are really proud of you, Bobby, and your family. And thank you for being a part of our show.
Thank you. Of course.
So let's email me now. Let me know what days look good. Tuesdays and Thursdays are better for me.
Okay.
All right, good. Great to have you on. Tom Armour, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. How are you, sir?
Good. What are you thinking about? I know you and David Bass are experts in this. What are you thinking about the NFT market?
Well, it's like every day you see more and more stories. I was just noticing just pulled up my YouTube this morning when I woke up, and 6 videos show up, and 4 of them were about NFTs. So it's just amazing what's going on out in the marketplace right now. So people awareness of what's going on is out there. Some of the information's a little weird, but people, it's becoming something that people are noticing more and more. I mean, you can't pick up a newspaper or read an article today where you're not hearing the word NFT being mentioned. And I just think it's at the forefront of what's going to be happening in our economy over the next 3 years. So just happy to be part of that industry, and excited to be on the cutting edge of technology here instead of on the bleeding edge of technology, which is where usually I get involved where things are on their way down. So it's nice to be on something on the front side before it's going to explode. So just excited about where we're at and what's going on.
Amen. Thank you, Tom. David Bass, I want to go back to you a moment. Would you unmute?
Yes, sir.
Now, David, you remember me guys telling you that David was one of the top tier executives with a life insurance company, that the guy was a coach, a high school coach. He started his own life insurance company and ended up being a billionaire now, and one of the sharpest guys. And I gave y'all an assignment to listen to that message. Just do it, right? And
I did.
Yeah. If
I
you
watched
haven't,
it again.
yeah, if you haven't listened to him, Art Williams, and the video, just do it. Just take time and sit down and listen to that. But David, I want to talk to you about something else now. I know you're involved in the NFT business, and I'm excited about that. But you also have a side thing going on with employee retention credits, and I want to really talk to you about this, because see, sometimes God works in mysterious ways and gives people a way to access funds to bless them. And so I had a friend that I recommended to David that he's working on. How much money per employee does a person get that owns a company that has employees with W-2 forms?
Up to $26,000 per employee. And I kind of make a statement. Again, 90% of the CPAs, they skim a few pages and say, if your revenue have a loss in revenue, you qualify. But if you had a rise in revenue, you don't. But there's about 6 or 7 reasons why a company can qualify. So they might get $15,000 to $17,000 back per employee. Other national firms are getting $18,000, $19,000. We're averaging $21,000 per employee for 2020 and 2021 back to employers. So our average case is over $567,000. And there's obviously a fee. Everything everybody does, real estate, and no matter what you're doing, there's a fee. So, but we're getting net amounts back to clients like you're a friend. We won't ever call names or companies, but he potentially will get almost $500,000 back because of the number of employees he has and just the things that went on. So
now listen to this. Listen to this. I wanted y'all to hear that. if you know somebody who has some W-2 employees, you might want to refer them to David or his group. My friend who has a bunch of, he has a call center with a bunch of W-2 employees, and I knew he needed funding. And so I referred him to David, and David's going to get him close to $500,000 in money that he didn't know existed. Isn't that phenomenal? You know, I mean, isn't that amazing? And so, David, if you would just go ahead and put your email down in the chat, people can get a hold of you. That would be great. But yeah, my friend is ecstatic, and I'm just so thankful that I was able to refer him to somebody, and I would have never known about it had we not had this call, had we not had this show several weeks ago. So Tom Henderson, you should know some people to refer over to David. You should talk to David about that as well. How about you, Dave Obermeyer? Will you come on just a minute? You have employees too, right? How many employees, W-2 employees do you have?
And about 40-ish. And I have reached out to Dave about it.
Okay.
I just get my partner on it.
Okay, good. Well, see that this is the power of what we're doing with the show, the Ask Joseph Land show. It's the networking. And I know, Jerry Llewellyn, you represent a lot of companies who have W-2 employees. And so you should call or email David as well. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody here. Tracy, I don't know if this works in Canada or not. Does this work in Canada, David?
No, it's just a U.S. Treasury, all 50 states and Puerto Rico. And again, 2 million businesses left. There's probably on about 100,000 done it in a year. But there's still a treat, and it's their money. See, it's money that Dave Obermeyer's paid in, your friends paid in, and these companies have paid in monies into these accounts. But the government's giving us a little spiff, this little extra bonus, you know. And this time it's the employer's money. They had something back in 2020 called PPP, Payroll Protection Plan. That was for employees. They got that money, okay? And so, but this is, they're just unaware of it. And unfortunately, company owners think, what is this? There's something fishy. I don't want the government money or whatever. It's their money. If they don't claim it, certain politicians might keep it. So let's get it. Okay. Let's get that money transferred. It's kind of a crusade to say, bring money back in your city, your county, or in the case where you own a company, it's bringing money back into your company, tax-free, by the way, too. Now, once it's in your company account, it's up to you and your CPA how you take it out and what you use it for. You can buy a new truck, a new car, or whatever, but that's different tax consequences. But our company's helped over 7,000 companies get over $4 billion back in 15 months.
Wow. That's
So,
amazing.
there is an option if people want to take time, go through the training and all that, but we can work something out that's real good for the company you know, or the company you have, or real good for you as well on a referral basis. Our company's set up to do well with it and bless a lot of companies, and even bless some that choose to be an agent. They do choose to be an agent with us, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Doug Sherman, you probably know people with employees that you could refer to David. You should be in contact with David when you get back.
Yeah, there's a few. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Tom Henderson, any comments about that?
No, just that we were talking about different streams of income. That's essential, really, especially nowadays. And like I was saying last week, there's more opportunities out there today. With Jerry, with the X39, with the Wave, there's just so many different opportunities with different things, and they working with the companies, getting tax money back. It's just full of opportunities today.
That's great. Yeah. I knew you'd like that. Rhonda, how are you doing today? Dr. Rhonda? You're muted.
There you go.
There
I'm
you
fine, thank you. Actually, yes, I'm ungrounded from my broken knee. I was telling you before most people got on that I expected not to be able to drive or lose my brace till December 15th. And I saw the surgeon last Thursday, and yeah, he said I was absolutely fine. He said, but what did you do? And I said, I prayed. He said, well, it really worked. And it was interesting. He just kind of shook it off, but no, so that's nice. So I feel like, yes, I'm 16 and I have the car back.
That's
I'm
great.
ungrounded. So yes.
Great. We're glad to hear you're doing well with that knee problem, and great to have you on today.
Thanks.
Great. All right. I want y'all to get out your pen and paper. I got a little something I want to tell you today. Have you ever thought about what things would be like 10 years from now? What would things be like in 10 years, right? So 20 years ago, well, when my father was alive, 1987, we didn't have the cell phone capability and all that we have today. We had these phones that halfway work. And so 10 years from now, things are going to be different. And so here we are in 2022. What is it going to be like in 2032? And I want to talk to you about the things that you won't care about 10 years from now. All right. So Jennifer and I periodically sit down and we write down things and how God has blessed us and our children. We write them down so we can see them evident. And then we write down things that we, that we would like to accomplish. And a lot of those things we accomplish and the things that we don't seem not to matter because we weren't supposed to. Does that make sense to you guys? So some of the things that we thought we would want a year or two later, we really don't. And that's how really it works. So I want to tell you 7 things that you won't care about 10 years from now. The first one is, this is a great one, saying no. A lot of times we say yes because we feel insecure. We feel obligated to say yes to do something, or, we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings and we just say yes. And, we kind of halfway go through the motions and show up. And when no can just be liberating, it's not a vindictive word. It's not an offensive word. It's just no. I mean, I just don't feel that that's what I need to do right now. And I think 10 years from now, you won't feel bad about saying no to things that you didn't feel like you were called to do. I say no all the time, and it doesn't faze me because no's not a bad word. And as a marketing person, let me give you the other side of that. As a marketing person, when somebody tells you no, your reaction should be, okay, great, but no is not definite. It means not right now, and so that person might be interested a little bit later on, but right now they don't think they are. And so no is a very powerful word. It's not an offensive word. It's just liberating. And so when people, I had this young man who hounded me about an investment. He came to my office and we sat down and we went over it and did all the due diligence. And lo and behold, I ran this by my son-in-law, and he says, don't do that. He says, my company's coming out with the same kind of technology, and I don't think that would be a good investment for you. And lo and behold, it wasn't. And I told the young man no, and he hounded me for months and months and months, and I give him credit for that. But it was liberating for me to know that I could say no, not in a vindictive way or any hurtful way, just no, that's not for me right now. And lo and behold, this other technology came on, and his technology was not able to go forward. And so sometimes God gives you these little tips through other people you need to listen to. And no is not a bad word. It's just a liberating, I can't do it right now. The other thing is that you won't care about. The second thing you won't care about 10 years from now is other people's opinions. And, you know, everyone has one, right? Everybody has an opinion, right? And so when someone says something to you, don't take it personally. Just don't, you know, as we talked about before, just don't receive it if it's not for you. And 10 years from now, of what somebody's opinion was won't matter. I remember when I started my transportation company, there were people in my circle of influence who told me not to do it because I was taking too big a chance. And so those opinions, their opinions didn't mean anything 25 years from that date. They told me not to do it because they all wanted to be a part of what I was doing. You see what I'm saying? So if you're called to do something, other people's opinion about you doing that doesn't matter. You just, you know, you take what you're supposed to receive and you go forward. So other people's opinions 10 years from now won't really matter. You know, what somebody thought about how I looked, or, you know, what kind of car I drove, or any of that won't matter 10 years from now. Right. So the third thing that won't matter 10 years from now is how silly you looked. You know, how silly you look. I remember how afraid I was when I started my first company, and I didn't want to look bad around to my friends if I didn't make it, right? Those thoughts came to my mind, or how silly I would look with sticking my neck out there and taking a chance, right? And again, that goes back to a little bit to other people's opinions. But I just wonder how many dreams are squashed or go unfulfilled because people are scared of looking silly, or how they might look to someone else. And so I remember what Dr. Seuss said, and I want you to remember this too. He says, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. In other words, what you're doing, the people that matter, they're going to endorse it and they don't mind what you're doing. But it seems like sometimes along in life, there's the sandpaper, I call them, the people that come into our lives who are the sandpaper, who rough things up a little bit. And so don't let the sandpaper throw you off from achieving that dream or that vision that God has called you to do. The fourth thing that won't matter 10 years from now, that you won't care about 10 years from now, is how many likes you got on Instagram or Facebook, how many likes you got. Social media sometimes can be a slippery slope. It really can. And I remember early on in social media wondering, why, well, I'm not getting more likes and all that. And now that Jennifer handles that side of our brand, it's kind of fun to watch everything that goes on and not be stressed out about it, you know? And then the other side of that is sometimes Jennifer and I'll post a picture and invariably it'll make somebody angry because we look good or we were at some place that they didn't feel we should have been and they wish they were. It's just crazy. And so, 10 years from now, we won't even think about that, and probably they won't either. But isn't it amazing that you can't measure your progress on likes on social media? You know, you got to have a bigger picture than that. You know, you got to measure your business on what impact you're having on society and what impact you're having on other people that are giving you that kind of feedback. And when you do something that benefits society and the business, you're going to get blessed big time. I'm going to give you 3 examples of that. Number 1, Uber. Now, there were probably some people sitting around in the formation stage of that company saying, hey, man, don't do this. Don't take that chance. But the ones that did, the ones that believed, the ones that got in, the ones that saw it and said, I'm not listening to any outside influence. We're going to put in $10,000. They made $100 million. You hear that? 10,000, 100 million. Okay. So Airbnb. Now think about that. Airbnb did another great thing for society. Jennifer and I went down to our daughter's college parents weekend. We couldn't get a hotel room. We stayed in an Airbnb. It was lovely. It was beautiful. And it was about half the price of the hotel rooms because they jack them up on football weekends, right? And so Airbnb did a great service to society, and I have people all the time staying in Airbnbs. And then probably the third example, and I'll use it as probably the richest man in the world, is everybody told Elon Musk no. Everybody told him this and that, and he kept following his genius dream. And look what he did with Tesla. I mean, it's amazing. And Tesla's going to come out with a cell phone that'll be satellite phone. The whole things are going to be there. The cell phone, this is an iPhone 13 Max I'm holding, and it will be obsolete 10 years from now, right? The 14 is coming out. Jennifer just ordered us 2 14s, and it'll be obsolete 10 years from now. All right. This Mac computer, brand new Mac computer, 10 years from now it'll be worthless. Right? Because things are changing so fast. I remember when the first cell phone came out, I had one for my transportation, but it was a bag phone. Remember those bag phones? And you couldn't get anybody on one, but you looked good riding in your car with the phone up to your ear. I'll never forget, my cousin told my father one time that he should buy some racing pillows to put in the back window of our family car. And because he knew I wanted them. And my father looked at, and he told my father, he said, you'll get 5 more miles to the gallon on your gas if you have those pillows in your back window. My father thought that was a hoot. He would have never done anything like that in his lifetime. But isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how we let things affect what we're really called to do if we're not disciplined? Like how many likes we get. Look at the bigger picture of what you're being called to do. Like Andrea Rojas that was on this call earlier, she's being called to do a business that has been put in her heart. That vision has been put in her heart, and now it's coming out, right? And it's going to be fun for all us to bring it out of her and really encourage her and help her achieve her dream. So it's really exciting. All right. So the 5th thing that you won't care about, and I got a little excited about that earlier, are material possessions. This shirt I got on 10 years from now, probably be worn out. My phone won't be worthless 10 years from now. This bottle of water right here on my desk, Maximus has already chewed the top off, so it won't be around 10 years from now. This candle on my desk that makes my room smell good, 10 years from now, it will be gone. Isn't it amazing? A lot of the things that we hold dear right now won't be around 10 years from now. But what will be around 10 years from now? Your friendships, your relationships, the people that you've blessed and encouraged, your investments. Some of your investments will be around 10 years from now. But the material things that we think are so important, that we just got to have right now, they'll be probably not important 10 years from now. That's been kind of my story. And so God has taught me to be really careful with my money. And so the things that I think I want to purchase today that are material in nature, if I wait 3 or 4 days, most times I don't purchase them. But if I wait 3 or 4 or 5 days or even a week, and I'm still think I need that product, then I will end up purchasing it. Isn't that amazing how that works? And so the 6th thing that you will not care about 10 years from now is your age. Now, if you're 40 today, 10 years from now, you're going to be 50. Regardless, it doesn't matter. If the Lord allows you to live 10 more years, you're going to be 50. You know, whatever age you are, 10 years from now, you're going to be 10 years older. You're not going to remain where you are. And while you look in the mirror and think you look as good as you used to, you don't. Your friends will tell you you don't. My friends, anyway. And so what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you're 40 and 10 years from now, you're going to be 50? Are you going to be a 50-year-old who says, hey man, I built a business. I took a chance. I diversified my income. You know, I got to, I got to a degree in college, or I got a degree in Tai Chi. I did something in those 10 years of my life that were significant. I learned to play an instrument. I learned to play the piano. I did some things in those 10 years that nobody can ever take away from me. Or are you going to be this kind of person that's 40 years old and at age 50 will say, you know what? I thought at 40 it was just too late to start doing something different. Isn't that amazing? And so at my age, I'm thinking about all kinds of new things I can be doing. You know, Jennifer and I think about all kinds of new things we can be doing, not only for ourselves, but for our children and with our children. And so in November, my wife primarily, has rented this beautiful home on the ocean for our 8 children and 5 grandchildren to come spend Thanksgiving with us. And so that's a treat that we're giving ourselves, because 3 years ago, we said it was possible and we wanted to do it this year. And so we're doing it. And so what is it going to be like 10 years from now, right? So 10 years from now, we're going to be doing some of those things that we dreamed were possible because we didn't think it was too late to do them. There's so many people that die with the music in them because they thought it was too late to get started, or too late to do it, or too late to do something different. And Dawn, I so appreciate you, because you just kind of changed gears and you're doing something different because you didn't think it was too late. Isn't that cool? So the seventh thing that I want to tell you that you won't be thinking about 10 years from now is instant gratification. Instant gratification. You won't say 10 years from now, I wish I'd have spent more time looking at my phone when I was sitting with my family. You won't say, my health, I owe my great health to the result of eating a Big Mac every day. So you won't say those things. You'll start caring about the future you, not the right now you. See, we live in a society of instant gratification, and everything's at our fingertips. And I'll never forget, Jennifer and I went to dinner one night, and we saw this beautiful couple and these 2 most beautiful kids. I guess the kids were like 8 and 10, and just a beautiful family. And the father was sitting there and the mother was sitting there, and they were working on their phones, and the 2 children were just sitting there. And I thought to myself, gosh, that's the society we've gotten to become. We don't spend time where we need to spend time. And so I'm forever on the weekends, I'm forever leaving my phone around, and Jennifer's always telling me where it is, or having to ring it to tell me where it is, because, I just want to be free to give my attention where it counts, even to our little dog, even to our children. I want to give my attention to where it counts, but because 7 years from now, it won't matter how much time I spent on my phone or how much time I spent doing things that didn't count. for that instant gratification. What will matter is how I invested my time in my family, in my business, and in other people so that they can become better. And so those are the 7 things I thought about that we won't be concerned about 10 years from now. Anybody want to say anything about those 7 things? Anyone hit anybody?
Well, I think the age hit me. My wife and I, we love to travel and stuff, and my next birthday, I'll be 80. So we're just enjoying life to the max. And I think every day, whatever age you're at, you need to live life. We just did a memorial service for a young kid at my church last week. And he rode motorcycles a lot. And on the back of his motorcycle helmet, he said, "Everybody dies, but not everybody lives." And what a motto.
Yeah.
Everybody dies, but sometimes we don't take time to live. And you only get one shot at this life. It's a one-shot deal. So I just appreciate age. I appreciate life. I appreciate where my wife and I are at. We're so blessed, but we're blessed by choices we made. So
Yeah.
that's like you're saying, 10 years from now, the choices you make today and tomorrow is going to end up where you're going to be at 10 years from now. So it's all about choices.
Well, Tom, you and Lynn are the epitome of making great choices 10 years ago because of the way you look right now. I mean, you're the epitome of good health and good shape, and both of you are. And so you really speak to that to me when I think about that. In fact, when I was looking at this last night, I was thinking about you. I mean, you're ageless. And so very grateful for you and your example. Anybody else have anything to add to what I said? Anything hit you?
Mostly the comments. I was following on Instagram. I followed this boat company that me and my wife want to buy a boat they manufacture in some coming years for that, and we're planning on it. And they posted this picture of one of their new models or whatever, and I posted a comment saying, Al, I really look forward to getting one in a couple of years. And somebody commented to me saying, "Therefore, I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven." And that comment really bothered me for a little bit, and I was just like kind of, but then I guess my mental comeback was, hey, man, you got something in your eye. So, the log in your eye verse. So anyway, that's just what you were saying kind of made me remember that time that happened.
Well, Bobby, let me speak directly to that because we have that done to us all the time, right? And I am a target, and I realize I'm a target, and I receive it with the most humility and gratitude. I thank the Lord for making me one. All right. And so when people take a shot at you like that, number one, they don't understand what that scripture meant. And number two, God wants to bless you because he knows your heart, because you're going to use it for good. There are more verses in the Bible about money than there are faith. And God wants to bless those of us who can trust with his money. And God wants you to have that boat. He wants you to be blessed in this life. And that is totally ridiculous. And so I don't receive that, and you shouldn't either. But I'll tell you, when you bring something in prayer before God, and he keeps nudging you that way, then it's for you. It's for you. If that was the case, nobody be buying boats anywhere. I mean, yes.
I always think back to the talents, the one that had his talent and hid it, he took it away from him. The one that had his talents and multiplied it, he blessed.
Yeah.
So that just kind of takes that argument away. It's a
Good
blessing.
point.
to be blessed. You know, it's not a bad thing.
Good point. Good point. Well, the thing is don't let anybody steal, I guess, the vision or the dream that you have for yourself and your family by what they say. It's their opinions. And what did Dr. Seuss said? Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Those who mind don't matter. So if that person minds that you're getting that boat, he doesn't matter. Because I'm telling you that I matter, and I don't mind. I don't mind you getting on a ride with you on it.
Come on.
We're gonna all meet you somewhere, and we're gonna take a ride with you on it. How about that, Jerry?
Yeah, man, I'll have to say that the person that said that to you could not visualize Jesus being on that boat. That's all I.
That's right. That's right. But it's amazing. And the more success you have in your life, the more shots people feel like they need to take at you. And I'll give you an example. And Tom Brady, y'all heard of Tom Brady? You read about Tom Brady and his wife maybe going through marital problems. And so my thing is, I'm going to pray for him. Gosh, we cheered him on when he won Super Bowls, and we praised him. Hey, I'm gonna keep cheering him on and praying for him right now if he's going through a tough time. That's the kind of fan I'm going to be. But it isn't amazing. He's a target. He's a target. He's going to take the shots from people who really don't matter, because those who matter in his life don't mind that he's going through a tough time, right? And they're going to be there for him. So I think it's a great lesson for us to all remember that when you see somebody, when you see somebody struggling, that's when they need you the most. That's when you need to reach out and say, hey, what can I do to help out? What can I do to be a blessing to you? How can I encourage you in some way? How can I tell you I went through the same thing and I made it to the other side, and you're going to make it too? So when people are going through a struggle, that's when they need you the most. And isn't it amazing that the tendency is for us to kind of not call them, we don't know what to say and all that. Just call them and say, hey, man, I don't know what to say, but I love you and I'm here to help you. What can I do to help you? And that just means the world to me when I've gone through struggles, for someone to take their time and call me and encourage me. That's something. So anybody else, any more comments before we close this out today? So Karen, it's great to have you on the call today.
Hi, thank you for having me. Dawn invited me to come last week, and last week was a wonderful episode. So I thought I'd join you again this week, if that's all right. And, I'm a newbie in this, I'm just a newbie in this whole different frame of mind. I've recently moved from California to Georgia. We're going to be 33 degrees tomorrow morning. So, and I'm new to Rasaji, Master Lama Rasaji. And what touched me with what you said, one of the many things, was I'm not going to care what other people think about me.
That's right.
And, having moved recently, and it's like I have a clean slate. I'm just so excited about life. Sometimes it's kind of nerve-wracking, but I just go back into, I get to create my own thoughts. I get to create the thoughts I want to live in.
Yes.
And so that's why it's wonderful to be around people like you guys, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate it. So I had just come from doing all my practices this morning. And so it was perfect timing to come on and see you guys, and also to hear Andrea. I think it's so funny, a few weeks ago, I just couldn't sleep. 1:30 in the morning, I woke up bright-eyed and I just could not sleep. And I designed 2 lines of clothing in like 2 or 3 hours. I got up my piece of paper, I started writing it down. I've never done that before, so maybe I'll need to talk with Andrea later
Good
and
for
see
you.
what she. So we'll see, who knows, that something could come from that. Anyway, I'm rambling, but I'm just really grateful to be here, and I love your 7 things that we won't need in 10 years.
Good. Well, Karen, it's wonderful to have you on. And see that this is how this is how the world operates, by networking. See, you network with Dawn. Dawn told you about the show, and you'll tell somebody else. And so it's about us blessing others and being available for others. And so thank you for that. Awesome to have you on. You're awesome. And thank you for your comments. So I'm going to stop just a minute here. I want you all to hang on. Thank you for joining the show today, by the way. Hold on just one second.